Hey everybody, Tara Green here, and it is October the 4th, and there's a very, very important alignment going on today with your favorite planet, which is Venus, the goddess of love, of beauty, of harmony, of the arts, of all wonderful things, of relationships. She puts things together. She was also traditionally the goddess of war, you know. So she is today conjunct the south node of the moon at 18 degrees of Virgo. Now the south nodes and the north nodes are opposite each other. They always move backwards through the zodiac. It's actually at 18 degrees plus, but because the nodes are moving backwards, let's look at the 18th degree of Virgo to signify what this means. Now, according to the Sabian symbols, which was originally defined by a psychic named Elsie Wheeler in 1925. Actually, she channeled these things, and one of my favorite astrologers, Dane Rudyard, wrote a great book called An Astrology Mandala. It was actually the first astrology book that I ever read. And he created, the guy who was with Elsie Wheeler, Mark Edmund Jones, who wrote them all down and translated them. Then Dane Rudyard made all these comments on them, and Dane Rudyard was kind of like a polymath figure. He was a musician and artist and all kinds of things, and one of the fathers of kind of modern humanist psychological astrology. Anyway, the symbol is a Ouija board. Now, a Ouija board personally is something I would never ever touch. I do not recommend that anybody ever uses a Ouija board because they attract very low level energies and entities. So never use a Ouija board. Okay, trust your own intuition. You can use something else like opening a book for clues. You can use tarot cards, you can use oracle cards, you can use tea leaves, you can use numerology, you can use dice. There's all kinds of things that you can use, right? I just don't recommend Ouija boards. But the Ouija board symbols kind of seeking spiritual or occult significance. So I would pay strong attention to the signals and the signs and the synchronicities going on right now. Again, Venus is at 18 degrees of Virgo, but this aspect is in effect over the next few days while Venus is close to the south node. Now, the south node is where we're eliminating. It's literally where we're getting rid of the shit because it represents the tail of the dragon. The north node representing the dragon's head, called Rahu in Vedic astrology, and the south node representing the tail, Ketu. Now, these two nodes are referred to as dragons as well. So this is the south node of the dragon. This is the dragon we're leaving behind. This is like the tiger by the tail or the dragon by the tail. And the dragons have been coming up quite a bit for me in the last while. So Virgo energy, what we want to leave behind. Self-criticism, worry, anxiety, perfectionism, that sense of being too much in our heads. Virgo is an earth sign, and earth signs are practical and physical and rational. Virgo's very rational sign, intelligent, intellectual, organized, good for editing, good for accountants, good for people with numbers and details. Rules work in general. Traditionally, Virgo as the sixth sign and house ruled slavery. So yeah, if you think you're a slave to your job, that would be a Virgo kind of thing. But it's also literally the harvest. And of course, people did have slaves to harvest. But everybody in a way was, I guess, indebted, working, dedicated to the harvest because that's how you would survive. You had to grow your own food. And it would be good if we all got back to that. And I love my urban organic garden in the back. I wish I could do it all year. But anyway, Virgo rules the upper digestion. It would be a good time to really do a cleanse, to really clean out your gut, to do a colonic, to do a detox. This is all Virgo stuff. Virgo's all into hygiene, health, get rid of an old health routine, start something new. But generally, just purging of your work, purging of successes related to community, pets. Again, being of service. Are you being of service in the best way you can, okay? And really about getting grounded, getting earthy. You got to stay grounded. There's not very many planets and earth signs right now, so this is a good time to take advantage of it. Now, this Venus conjunct the south node is also opposite where the September 7th lunar eclipse happened close by at 15 Pisces. So this is resonating with the eclipse, which just happened, not even a month ago. So you want to look at if you have any planets if your rising sign, moon, anything else is close to 18 degrees of Virgo, and I would keep a pretty tight orb. I would say 5 degrees before 13 Virgo to maybe 20 Virgo. And the opposite, again, 13 to 20 Pisces, and then squaring it 13 to 20 Gemini, 13 to 20 Sagittarius. Those mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces are what's called mutable signs. That means they're adaptable, they're changeable. Those are the last signs before we go into the initiatory phase again. Okay, so you can see these are the aspects of today. But this is a major thing. Venus and the South Node will only conjunct, well, as fast as Venus is moving around. It happens more often, but you know, the nodes move through the zodiac once every 18, 19 years, and that is why there's, you can hear my cat there, Vesta, and there's the asteroid Vesta right there. That's why Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman divorced after 19 years, because they completed a total metonic, it's called 19-year cycle, where the eclipse repeats at the exact same degree. So that was back in 2006, I believe. Now, the other thing I want to mention here that's still interesting is Pluto's at 1 degree Aquarius. Uranus and Sedna, which nobody talks about Sedna enough, is also at 1 degree. She is very important. Juno is opposite as well. Juno, my favorite goddess. I'm trying to finish writing my book about her, is also at 1 degree of Sagittarius. So to have a lot of planets aligned at these 1 degrees is quite unusual as well. So again, Uranus opposite Juno. Juno is the feminine form of genius. She was Zeus's wife. She was Jupiter or Jove's wife in Roman Roman mythology, called Juno, the goddess of marriage and childbirth, but her original meaning was much more deeper, because she was the great goddess, and the fact that she was married off to Jove or Jupiter was the patriarchal takeover, because all kings inherited through the matrilineal line, which is pretty obvious, right? Okay, now, so that 1 degree, new beginnings, right? Now, Neptune is at 0 degrees of Aries, the world point, the very beginning of the zodiac. I'm not surprised that Atlas, 31 Atlas, comes into our solar system with Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, because Neptune represents space. It represents everything we can imagine. It represents our dreams. It represents projection. So, of course, Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, which it just started into at late March this year, for the first time since 1861, will bring in all kinds of wonderful, imaginative, creative. Be careful what you intend. My friend Shala and I were out calling in friendly, beneficial aliens since the eclipse in April of 2024 to come and help us. I do believe that we weren't the only ones calling them in. So I do believe that they're here to adjust things in a very positive way. You know, that it is not a comet, it's an intergalactic, I would call it a talisman, actually, coming here to help us. You know, we need the help right now. So you have to really focus on the positive aspects of that. Don't let the state of the world get you down. You know, as an empath, as a very sensitive person, I've been thrown my own personal version of all the negative, evil, you know, vampirish energy in the world. And it's not easy to keep your head up above that. Let me tell you that. Now, the moon's in Pisces, and it will conjunct the North Node in about, let's see, moon moves 1 degree every 2 hours. It's 8 degrees, so about 19 hours from now, it will be opposite Venus, conjunct the North Node. That would be a beautiful moment as well. But really, pay attention to what's going on. You know, Mars is in Scorpio. It's in its home sign. It is conjunct Lilith, actually, at 12 degrees of Scorpio. So they're making a pretty powerful connection there. So there should be a lot of heat coming from women. There's more that I can talk about this. But anyway, I'm just realizing I'm running out of time here. Chiron and Eris together, also a very heavy energy that's been going on for all of 2025. You want to get in touch with me? I'm at tarot.com. I'm going to start doing more lives here. I'm going to go out in the country for a few days to get grounded myself, and I will do some stuff. I will be out there on the full moon. So stay in touch. Get in touch with me at tarot.com. Okay, speak to you again soon.